Welcome learners to today's lesson of multiples and factors, where today we are going to be focusing on practice and application. Let's get right to it. So, we are going to be now talking about prime factors. So we are going to first list the prime factors of 24. Now remember, for us to list the prime factors, there are two things you need to keep in mind. Number one, it is the factors of 24. And number two, it is the prime numbers, okay? So let's quickly list the factors of 24. So the factors of 24 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 12, and 24. Right? So from that list of factors, we need to now identify which ones are the prime numbers. Do you remember the first few prime numbers? That is our 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17. And of course, that list does not stop there. It does continue indefinitely. So from this list, which ones are the prime factors of 24? If you are thinking of 2, and of 3, then you are absolutely correct. These are the prime factors of 24. So that is our 2 and our 3. If I am going to represent 24 as its prime factors, then I am going to write it out. But remember, there is a method of just breaking down that whole number so that it becomes easier for you to identify those prime factors. So we know that 24 is made of 12 multiplied by, is made of 2 multiplied by 12, or 12 multiplied by 2. But because 12 is not a prime number, we can break down that number even further to say this is 2 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3, because 4 multiplied by 3 gives us 12. And then we can break it down even further because 4 is not a prime number, and then we can say that is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. So now I have written 24 as its prime factors. Let's list the prime factors of 60. So when we are thinking of the prime factors of 60, we need to think again of the factors of 60 and then choose the prime numbers. But remember, I said if a number is big, you can just now break it down for yourself. Let's look at 60 quickly. 60 is 2 multiplied by 30. And because 30 is not a prime number, we can say 2 multiplied by 15. And then we can, I forgot 1, 2 there. So that is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 15 actually. Then we can break it down even further and say 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. And you will see that those are the prime factors of 60. Let's move on to 140. And if we break that down, that will be 2 multiplied by 70. But because 70 is not a prime number, that is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 35. And again, 35 is still not a prime number, so that is going to be 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 7. So that means that 140 is equals to 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 7. So that's how we find our prime factors. Remember, we need these prime factors when we are finding the LCM or the HCF using prime factorization. So let's start with finding the LCM of 14 and 49 using prime factorization. The first thing that we're going to do is to list both of these numbers using the prime factors. So 14 is equals to 2 multiplied by 7. And both of them are prime numbers, so I've listed it using using its prime factors. And then we have 49, which is 7 multiplied by 7. And again, 7 is a prime number, so we've listed 49 using its prime factors. How do we find the lowest common multiple? Remember, we are going to list all the prime factors that we can see. So the prime factors that I can see there is 2 and 7. But when I list these prime factors, I need to look for the one with the highest frequency. So when we look at this combination and we look at the 2, it only appears once. So the highest frequency is just 1. And when we look at the 7, up there it appears once, but here it appears twice, which means I am going to again multiply by 7 because 2 times is the highest frequency for that 7. And when I multiply these numbers, 2 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 7, our answer is going to be 98, which means that the lowest common multiple for 14 and 49 is 98. Let's move on to finding the highest common factor. So we are going to find the highest common factor between 68 and 96. Again, we are going to use prime factorization. And when we use prime factorization, we need to make sure that we are writing our numbers as its prime factors. So let's look at 68. Again, 68, we can break it down into 2 multiplied by 34. But as you know, 34 is not a prime number. So we are going to continue and break that down to 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 17. And as we know, 2 is a prime number, 17 is a prime number. So that means that we are going to keep it like that. So this is 68 represented as its prime factors. We are going to do the same thing for 96. And when we look at 96, this can actually be 3 multiplied by 32. Because if we take 32 and we multiply it by 3, our answer is going to be 96. But 32 is not a prime number. 3 is a prime number though. And then when we look at 32, that can be broken down to, we can say there, that is a 4 multiplied by an 8, right? And then, because 4 is not a prime number, 8 is not a prime number, we need to break it down even further. So that is going to be 3. I'm just going to write it down here. So that is going to be 3 multiplied by 4. 2 multiplied by 2, that's for the 4. And then for the 8, we have 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. So that means that 96 is 3 multiplied by 2, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 2, and multiplied by 2, and multiplied by 2 again. All right? So that means that 2 is multiplied by itself there 4 times, and then we multiply 3 to get 96. So how do we find the highest common factor? Remember, we are going to look for the common ones. And when we look for the common ones, we are only going to focus on the ones with the lowest frequency. So I am going to look at this list of the prime factors for 96 and this list as the prime factors for 68. Which ones are common? Both of these prime factor lists have 2. So there is my 2. But now we are looking for the ones with the lowest frequency. If we look at this first block, 2 appears only twice. And we look at the second block, 2 appears 5 times. So which one has the lowest frequency? That is the one that appears only twice. So that means I'm going to multiply here by 2 again, and my answer for the highest common factor between 68 and 96 is going to be 4. Okay, so let's quickly go to an ad break and then we'll see you just now.